You gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis.
What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you?
It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, is it not?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. You look good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
Welcome to Off the Air on a Monday right here in the Quad Cities. Monday, April 28th. Thank you guys for joining us. If you're watching live on YouTube, we appreciate that. Over 1,000 subscribers. That's a good thing, but we want to keep building. So if you have not subscribed or liked or rated, commented, all those good things when it comes to YouTube, please do that. Also, tell a friend or two or 10 about what we're doing right here in the Quad Cities each and every weekday at 10 a.m. talking sports and a whole lot more. Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Of course, we want to thank everyone watching on X as well. We appreciate that. And also, if you don't get to watch the show live, which we understand that, a lot of people are busy, you can always go back and watch it on YouTube, or you can check it out on all of our podcasting platforms as well. So everywhere you get your podcasts, you should be able to find Off the Air with Matt Randazzo, Spotify, Apple, Podbean, you name it, iHeart. It should be there for you. So go check it out. It's a beautiful day outside. It's supposed to rain. We'll talk about that later. Huge storms for last week. We'll see what happens. So if you get off work or if you're on your lunch break or whatever, download the podcast. Go for a run. Check us out. It should be a lot of fun. We do want to thank, before we get any further, everyone who came out to our first remote on Thursday evening. We were live at Oscar's Pub over in Bettendorf. Thank you to T-Roy and all those guys over there for being gracious hosts. We had a blast. Thank you guys for stopping by if you did. It was a fun show. Go check it back out. Darien Porter stopped by the day before he was drafted. That was a ton of fun. Pat Anger was there, Greg Armstrong, Tom Kakert, Matt Rokes talking about Brett Greenwood and a whole bunch more, and T-Roy himself. So go check out that show. We had a bunch of fun. We will be doing more remotes. We'll be taking this show on the road a lot coming up this spring and summer. We'll talk to you all about it coming up throughout the next couple weeks as well. But we survived, I think, for the most part. There was a few technical glitches, but glitches are okay. When it's disaster, that's when we get into some trouble. So a great way to start our week. A huge show today. In a matter of moments, we'll be joined by Lexi Rodriquez. She just recently won the James E Sullivan Award, given to the best college athlete in the entire country. It was Caitlin Clark, Lexi Rodriquez, a Sterling standout when it came to volleyball, won 2 state championships there. She's been a 4-time All-American at Nebraska, playing pro ball right now, playing pro volleyball, just got done with that. So we'll catch up with Lexi Rodriquez in a matter of moments. Super excited about that. Of course, it is Monday, so our good friend Pat Anger, as always on a Monday, looking to get people off to the right start on Mondays. So he'll be here. We'll talk about Darien Porter, him getting drafted, probably youth baseball, because that's what we do this time of year, and a whole bunch more. So Pat Anger coming up a little bit later on around 10:45. And then in the second hour of the show, the Drake Relays were this weekend. A lot of local success. We'll start checking some of them off throughout the week here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. We'll be joined by Kelly Grobstich, the 100-meter dash winner from Assumption, a delightful young lady. We'll talk to her about striking gold at Drake, and of course, state not far away as well. So a lot to get to with her as well. So a little high school sports talk as well. We love to make sure we stay connected on the high school side of things as well. And it's going to become a busy time of year in high school sports with a lot of spring sports hitting the stretch run, baseball, softball, soccer over in Illinois, track over in Illinois. And then you go over to Iowa, you got soccer, you got track going on. I'm going to forget some things, but super busy time of year. So we'll do a lot of that over the next couple weeks and months right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Of course, we mentioned his name. Congratulations to Darien Porter, the Bettendorf standout, the Iowa State star cornerback, selected by the Las Vegas Raiders in the 68th, or with the 68th overall pick, I should say. Third round. I'll get it right. I promise. Third round, 68th pick overall. Congratulations to him. Like I said, check out the show from Thursday. A lot of great stuff with Darien Porter. Hung out with us probably longer, I should say, than what he probably wanted to. God bless him for doing it, but we had a lot of fun with him, so go check that out. Pat will be here in a little bit. We mentioned the Drake relays. PV's 4x8 went back-to-back. An amazing time by them. Grace Boland was second in her race as well. And Comanche's Tyson Caesar was the high jump champion for the second straight season. So congratulations to him. Closer to home in the Quad Cities, the Wheelers do it again. The Quad City Steamwheelers now 5-0. They win 62-41 over 3-1 Jacksonville. So a good Jacksonville team coming to town, and the Wheelers had no problems at all. This is one of the best Wheelers teams that I've gotten to cover, that I've been around. Daquan Neal, 6 total touchdowns, 5 passing, 1 rushing. Jordan Vesey, the former Augustana standout, former Rock Island standout, with 3 touchdown receptions in the first half. So congratulations to the Wheelers. We'll do much more with our Steam Wheeler Wednesday coming up in just a few days right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Also, last but not least, before we get to Lexi Rodriquez, the Chuck Long charity auction is up and going. It's in full swing. It started on Thursday. It's going to go till this Saturday. I encourage everyone, go to CTCQC, so Children's Therapy Center, Quad Cities, ctcqc.org. There's a big link there. You can't miss it. Go there, click on it, and check out all the awesome stuff that's up for auction, sports-wise, food-wise, entertainment-wise, you name it. There's something there for you. Help us help kids right here in the Quad Cities. Go check that out. It's free to go look. I promise. Just go there, check it out, look. I promise you there'll be something there you're interested in, and then maybe you can get a great item and we can help kids out right here in the Quad Cities. So please, if you have a chance today, if you're at work, you're a little slow going on a Monday, you need to waste some more time at work, go click that button and check things out as well. So again, all the money raised goes to kids right here in the Quad Cities. Well, we start our Monday with a very familiar face. And joining me now, a familiar face, a smiling face out in California. I love the resume, Lexi. I got to start with 2-time state champion, first and foremost, maybe. 2-time state champion at Sterling, 4-time All-American at Nebraska. And how about James E. Sullivan Award winner, Lexi Rodriquez, joining the show. Thank you for doing this, young lady. It's been forever since I chatted with you.
I know, I can't believe it, but high school just seems like so much has happened since then. But yeah.
We mentioned I want to start there. The James E. Sullivan Award winner. Has that processed yet? I know it's been a week or so, but has that processed what it means? An amazing award, an amazing honor, and one you won just recently.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's sunk in. I don't know if it will, but just, I mean, my mom would even talk about it and talk about all like the Olympians who have won it, and just, oh, there's just so many incredible athletes that have won it. So I feel like that's the part when you like look at the history of it, and then it's like, and my name's on it. Like, it's hard to believe for sure.
We talked before we started the interview that it's Caitlin Clark, Lexi Rodriquez. That's pretty awesome. And then you look at the Michael Phelps and the Simone Biles and the people that have won it in the past. When you start thinking about in the history of it, I think it's been since 1935 or something like that. It's been handed out. What does that all mean, just to be in the same breath as some of the people that we just mentioned?
Yeah, it's definitely very surreal. I feel like that part is just still kind of wrapping my head around that, but I think it's good for the sport of volleyball, and especially for the position I am. Like, as most people know nowadays with liberos, it's becoming more recognized and a more talked about position, which I'm all here for. But I think, that's the at least part that I take away from this. I'm sure one day I'll realize how big of a deal and how big of an honor it was. But I think right now, just to kind of put volleyball on the map and keep making people hear about it as much as they can. So, I mean, that's what I was most excited for, just because as a libero, I think it's really important.
I want to stick with that for a second because you mentioned that position. Only the third volleyball player, I think, ever to win the award. But at that position and a defensive player of the year and all the kind of things, the accolades, when you think volleyball, it's kind of like most sports. The highlights are the kills and the points and those kind of things. To do what you get to do and affect the game the way you affect the game, or your position affects the game. You do a good job of it. What does that mean to you? Because that's an important part of volleyball, and I think you're helping put a spotlight to just how important an aspect of the game that it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's another thing that I didn't really notice until I would say like the past year of just how many people are coming up to me being like, I want to be a libero and like being a libero is so cool. And it's like it never used to be like that. It was always like, oh, if you're short, like sorry, you're gonna have to be a libero. And now it's like people want to be a libero and people want to play defense and be this position that hasn't always been like idolized or anything like that. So I think it's just really cool and I take that to like heart that people want to be a libero and that I can be a role model for them and I feel like everything I do is just like okay, like hopefully this is something that can impact a younger kid or the next generation.
Take me back a little bit. I want to say to a younger Lexi Rodriquez because you're not old.
Oh
But
gosh.
so when you were growing up, did that happen to you? Were you like, hey, I'm not as tall, so I'll settle to be a libero? Is that something that happened in your past, or kind of take me where it fit in with you and you had obviously a love for volleyball from a young age.
Yeah, I would say like growing up, I wouldn't say libero is what I wanted to be. I wanted to be first a hitter, and then I was like, okay, obviously the height wasn't there, and then I was still kind of hoping I could be a setter, but then all my coaches were like, you have to be a libero, and I was just like, yeah, I saw that coming. But it wasn't something that I was like, oh, I like love being a libero. It took me a while, and then I feel like once I truly was and got to be on a team and be full-time libero, like I was like, oh yeah, like this is where I belong. This is fun. Like libero is awesome. And so then I've just like always taken pride in like my position. But definitely didn't start out like that. Not at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Lexi Rodriguez joining us right now and off the air with Matt Randazzo. Lexi, when they describe this award, it's leadership, character, and sportsmanship. I'm not asking you to pick which one is most important. It's like asking you what's your favorite kid, although people ask me all the time and I'd answer. But which one stands out when you hear those three things? Leadership, character, sportsmanship. They're all very important, but which one are you maybe most proud of?
I would definitely have to say the character one, just because I feel like, especially at Nebraska, there's always spotlights, big spotlights, and everyone's just really invested in Nebraska volleyball around the state of Nebraska and around the country. And I think something I would always prioritize was just how I was able to be a role model and how I was able to stay true to myself throughout the whole process. And I think that's just what I tried to do. And I tried to be like the best teammate and the best just I don't know, person that I could be. And so to be recognized, obviously, there's the sport awards and that resume, but I think just the part outside of that and who I am as a person and as a role model is something that I take to heart.
Can you talk about your experience at Nebraska? I mean, and I don't. That's a 4-year long experience. I don't. That's a loaded question. But when it comes to what that state means to that sport, because I mean, you guys set records. You guys were. I mean, you guys, when Caitlin Clark was playing basketball at Kinnick Stadium, you guys were playing volleyball and in front of more people than ever before. What was that road like doing that for similar to what Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes were doing for women's basketball, doing it for women's volleyball in the state of Nebraska?
Yeah, I mean, I knew when I committed to Nebraska that they had a great fan base, but you don't really understand it until you're in it. And you're like, wow, like these fans are dedicated. They know what they're talking about, and they're like diehard. They're going to support you whether you have the best season that you've ever had or the worst season you've ever had. Like they're going to come back in the stands next year and cheer like you just won a national championship. And I feel like that was really cool. And just every year, I feel like I started to see more of the impact. And then obviously, when we are playing in a football stadium and selling it out, it's like, wow, like this would literally not happen anywhere else in the world. And ever since then, it's just been like, I don't know, I think sometimes when you're there, you take it for granted. But then after that, I was like just so grateful for all of Husker Nation and the state of Nebraska, just because that support is unlike anything you'll ever experience.
When you make a college decision, and they say when you know, you know. When did you know about Nebraska and Lincoln? And I don't know if you knew, young lady. I don't know if you knew what you're getting into, which is a good thing. When you committed, did you know that that's what the experience was going to be like? I guess it was a home run pick if you look back on it, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was 14 when I made that decision. Um, so I guess I don't really know if you can say I knew. I think my 14-year-old self thought she knew, and luckily, like you said, she hit a home run. But at the time, I think I just really like prioritize their history and their culture around like winning and their standards. And obviously, you see the sellout records and you see all the pictures of the like arena filled with fans, but I definitely didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't know that it was going to be like it was for the past 4 years in the best way possible. Like I wouldn't have wanted it any other way, but I definitely don't think I could say I knew what I was getting myself into.
Absolutely. Well, hey, I got a 15-year-old that can't decide what he wants for dinner most nights, and you were deciding where you're going to college. So you did a great job. I want to talk to you about Sterling in a second, but it was a quick transition for you. You were done with college volleyball, and then a week later embarking on a new league and a new experience and playing professionally, and kind of talk about that, where you're at now, what that experience was like, and just the quick switch, because you didn't get an off season, young lady. You just kept playing.
Yeah, still no off season. But the transition it was tough, I would say. You go from being with the same coaches, the same core group of your team for 4 years, same arena, and just like a place that's pretty much like home. And then just to have it abruptly end, and then 5 days later, join a new team, new coaches, new league, new era of volleyball. It was definitely, I think, a little difficult for me to kind of like let go of Nebraska and then just like start into pro and start this new, I don't know if you want to say like life, but just new chapter. But I think just once I fully got there and was able to be around that group of girls and start playing and getting used to it, and then being able to see the impact that this league had on the community and just in volleyball, I think was really cool. And then it was like, okay, like this is where I'm supposed to be, and this is what the next couple years of my life is gonna look like.
Can you talk about the new league and the new team? It's the LOVBD or LOVB, easy for me to say, in Omaha.
Yes.
Just kind of talk about, and you just mentioned this is what the next couple of years of life going to be, and you settled in nicely. Kind of talk about making an impact on a sport once again, this time even on a bigger level, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it was just such a crazy transition just because I went from like playing at the Final Four, and then I just am starting kind of from like from zero, like starting clean slate,
You're a
everything like
rookie.
that. And yeah, I was a rookie again. Like it was like freshman year all over again. But I think the group of girls that they had and just the experience and the high level of volleyball that I was around every single day was like just something I had always dreamed of. And being in the gym with Olympians and people from all across the world. And I don't know, it was just like a kind of like a dream come true. And to be able to do that in the US was very huge for me just because growing up, I was always like, oh, I'm gonna have to go to a different country for 10 months out of the year, and who knows if I'm gonna see my family. And then it was like, oh, wait, this is possible. I can just stay in Nebraska and my family can come visit and watch all my games. And so that was just, I don't know, such a big part of it that like the rest of it I knew was going to work itself out. And then just seeing like the impact once again, that it had and seeing all the support from the younger generations, I think was huge because it's the first year of the league. Like I didn't really know what it was going to look like. And it was just better than I could have ever imagined.
That's awesome. Awesome to hear. Lexi Rodriquez joining us. I want to talk about what you're doing next this summer, but I want to go back because we talked about little 14-year-old Lexi. I want to go back to those Sterling days. And when we introduced you, it was those two state championship teams. That was one of, and when I got done after doing this for 25 years, people would ask me like athletes or teams or things. People, and there's teams that you're like, hey, the Rock Ridge softball dynasty was awesome. The North Scott girls basketball, the state champions with Moline and Rock Island basketball, and Sterling volleyball was in that mix of dynasties. Can you look back and, I mean, one state championship young lady in this state is really good. Two is special.
I know.
How fun were those times? And you don't really, I don't know if you enjoy it enough in the moment because you're in the moment. Have you allowed yourself, or do you ever sneak back to those days and look at what you ladies did for a community that loves high school volleyball in Sterling?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was kind of something that I was really in the moment for. Like, I was like, I want to win a state championship, like for this community and for this town. And I think me and the Borum twins, we always kind of reminisce on it and talk about it and just feel like, wow, this is actually pretty crazy. Like, we won two state championships and like, no one really does that. And so I think it's really cool. And I think now looking back after like my entire career, I guess. I know I'm still playing, but just like looking back on college, and I mean, every time I go home, it's like people are just so supportive and just, I don't know. I feel like I am almost most proud of like those state championships because I feel like it did really change the volleyball community in Sterling, and for that to be where I was born and raised, I think that's something that I take to heart, and I always try to run camps there or just like go help out at like club practices or anything like that because I don't know, like that's where I'm from. I want other people, other younger girls to be able to have the dreams, and I know I am, but I'm hoping that I can be someone that they can be like, okay, she like is from here. She went and did all these cool things. And that's kind of where it started. It started at Sterling High School. That's where we started making history. And yeah, I don't know. I do look back on it all the time, and it is something that I am like super proud of just for what it did for the town.
You mentioned the Borums and gosh, the names, I start naming the names. And it was one of those things during that time. I always joke with people, if you gave me a dime for every time I said the word Borum or Rodriguez, I could have retired a long time ago because it was often. When did you guys know that was such a special group? Did you know like when you were 5 or 10, or when did you guys start realizing that like, we're pretty good at this game, this could be fun?
I don't know. I feel like we kind of knew it growing up a little bit, like when we were in middle school and we were like, okay, like we can't wait to get to high school. But then our freshman year wasn't exactly, didn't exactly turn out the way we wanted it to. So then we were like, oh crap, like this is gonna be hard. But I would say like around that, like 14, 15, when we were around that age and we were playing club together, and so we were doing just already like high level stuff for volleyball, and we were like, okay, we're gonna bring a state championship to our school, to our town, and that's what we wanted to do every year. And I mean, being able to do it with them, I grew up with them. We had been playing together for over like 10 years. So I don't know. It was really special. And I think all of us are just we look back on that all the time, and it was just like the good old days.
It's funny because you said the good old days, and I was talking to a friend of mine about doing this interview, and I'm like, I wonder if she still keeps in touch with, and you said the good old days. Lexi was like 5 years ago. It wasn't like, or 6 years ago. It wasn't like you're like
Feels
100.
like a lifetime.
I know, but it does. Like, I kind of think the same thing, and it's probably the same for you, but it's like, we're like, oh, does she still? Yes, of course she does. It's been 5 years, all those kind of things. What's Lexi's summer look like? You mentioned you're out in California. You're a Cali girl now. But what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing this summer? And I know the national team's involved, and obviously volleyball. Weird. Volleyball is what you have on your mind out in California.
Yeah, again, no break. So we're right into another season basically. But I'll be in Anaheim training with the national team, and they have V&Ls this summer. So I'm going to work and try and get on a roster. There's different, like they go to three different like locations. So three different roster opportunities, and there's other tournaments throughout the summer and into the fall as well. So could be could be a long time I'm out here, could be a short time. I don't It's kind of up in the air, but we're just gonna try and make a roster, see where it goes, and just try and get better.
When you try to make a roster, I know you have to work at it and try and all that kind of stuff. Can't you just walk in and say, "Hey, I won the James E Sullivan Award. Like, don't I get a spot?" Like that doesn't work that way, does it?
I don't think so.
Lexi, you mentioned I want to talk to you about some things outside of volleyball. You mentioned Sterling, the community, all that kind of stuff. And I know you're now an aunt. I think I read that you're an aunt now. So kind of just talk. I know
Yes.
you mentioned family several times during the interview, and that's no surprise. But I know they're super special to you. I know Sterling's still special to you. I know that little nephew, yours, is pretty special to you too. Kind of talk about the family. What's it like being an aunt, and how important are those people in your life?
Yeah, well, first off, being an aunt, I'm obsessed. He's so adorable, and I could go on and on. But yeah, my family has always been so important to me. They've been so supportive, and I mean, my sister was my biggest role model. She
She could
was
play some volleyball too.
making, oh yeah, oh yeah, she was making history of her own in Sterling, and I mean, part of why I was so determined to do everything was because she was doing it before me, and I wanted to carry on her legacy and make her proud. And so she has always been my biggest like role model. She's also been my biggest supporter. Didn't matter she was pregnant or when she had a newborn, she was always coming to the games. And yeah, she's amazing. And then my parents obviously have always sacrificed so much to help me get the best training and to get me to where I am. And I will never not be thankful for all they did for me. So, I mean, it's good to go home and get to spend, even if it's for 5 days before heading off to the next season. It's just good to be back in Sterling, back in my roots, and just hang out with the family, spend some, chill time there before, we ramp it up.
Did they put
So
a
yeah.
did they put a volleyball in your crib? Or like what? Where did it start? Like, I mean, is there something in like the water in the house that made you both really good at volleyball, or like, do you remember non-volleyball, or was it just that's what you grew up loving?
Um, I mean, I played basketball first, but yeah, it was always volleyball. And my sister obviously was 4 years older than me. So when I was like young, like she was probably 10 when she started, 9 or 10. And so I was like 5 or 6 and just at her practices, probably with the Borum twins. Probably not even playing volleyball, but just you're around it so much. You watch your siblings do it, and then you're like, oh, I want to do that too. And that was it for me. Like I wanted to do it. I wanted to be just like my sister. And then once I started, that's where like the love came in and the passion. And I was like, I don't want to play another sport ever the rest of my life. Like this is where it's at. And yeah, it's never changed.
It's worked out well. It's worked out very well. When you're in Sterling,
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
when you're in Sterling, is there anything like, hey, I'm at home, I'm in Sterling or Rock Falls, like in that area, I need to go here or I need to go there? Is there any home favorites that you got to hit up when you get back home?
Like anything.
Anything like food wise, those kind of things about home you love.
Yeah. I mean, food, gotta go to Angelo's. I mean, you
Smart
have
girl.
to, even though
Yes.
try and eat as healthy as I can, but gotta get that Angelo's in. But I would just say I love like just being back in my community, and obviously Sterling's not the biggest town, and neither is most towns in Nebraska, but just being able to go somewhere where people have known me for a while, and I don't know, it just feels like very calming to just go home, be with the family, be around local places that I was for my entire life. So I would say it's so relaxing to go back home, and I enjoy it whenever I can go.
All right. I'm going to let you go because I've kept you up for a while, but I got some fun, quick questions for you that we can roll through pretty quick.
Okay.
If you were going to play another sport, you mentioned you play basketball. If you could play another sport, any sport, what would you want to play and why?
I think I would do tennis. I played it my senior year actually
Okay.
because I didn't have a volleyball season, and it was really fun and I really enjoyed it. And I love a team sport, but also I think I could do really good in singles.
Have you played tennis? Do you still play tennis? I'm assuming you don't have a lot of time to go out to a tennis court and just hit a ball around.
Yeah, I don't always play tennis, more on the pickleball side with my
Okay.
family, but me and my dad will sometimes go play when we can.
All right. Pickleball is a thing in our family right now. It's a very competitive thing. If you had a cheat food, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I would probably say, okay, I love like chips and queso, some Mexican food. I can't say no to chips and queso or chips and guac. But besides that, like a dessert, I would probably say like a nice warm chocolate chip cookie.
Oh man, that you're
But probably
speaking.
not together, not
You're
the two
yeah,
together.
yes, exactly. You're speaking my language though. More food. Another food question. If you could have one-on-one meal, have dinner with one person, anybody in the entire world, who would it be and why? Famous, non-famous, whatever you want to do.
Oh gosh, this is such a tough question. There's so many people I idolize, but I think I would maybe want to do Simone Biles.
Okay,
I feel like
because
that doesn't need much
no.
explanation. She's literally like the greatest, like in gymnastics, and just such an insane athlete in general. And I don't know, I feel like I would just want to like sit down and have a conversation with her. I mean, dive into some like competition stuff
Yeah.
with just gymnastics and everything, but I think it'd be really cool.
I love it. You could have some chips and guac, chips and queso, and hang out with Miss Biles. That'd be great. Couple more. Have an embarrassing moment. Like, is there an embarrassing moment in your life? It could be when you were like 7, or it could be when you were like, and nobody likes to talk about them, so don't be too embarrassing. But is there ever a moment where you're just like, gosh, that was super embarrassing? And if not,
Oh
that's a good thing.
gosh. I mean, like, yes, there's probably many, many times that this has happened, but I don't know any from the top of my
Okay.
head. A volleyball one is obviously there's probably lots, but I served the ball on like the outside of the antenna, like in college in front of 9,000 people.
Yeah.
And honestly, not any mistake, but any embarrassing things are just a little bit worse when you're playing in front of that many people.
No, I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Last one for you. Are you a dog person, a cat person, or a non-animal person?
Dog person for sure. I'm a family with four golden doodles,
Are
so
you
we're
kidding?
definitely a dog family.
Awesome. Awesome. And
Yeah.
And we just recently got a dog at our house, and it's like the center of the world. I'm assuming those dogs are the center of the world for you?
I mean, they were until the baby came along.
Do you have dogs out with you in California or no?
I do not, no.
Okay, well, that's eventually, there you go. You need to add a dog to the mix out there. Lexi,
I think so, yeah.
I have enjoyed the heck out of this. Super proud of you. We've watched you at Nebraska, and I know Sterling's home, but when it comes to home, we're going to keep the Quad Cities, the whole area, as Lexi Rodriquez area, if that's okay. Super proud of you.
Yes,
keep doing
of
good
course.
things, and thank you for taking the time to chat with an unemployed guy in his loft doing a podcast. We appreciate you doing that.
Of course, yes. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That is Lexi Rodriquez, the James E. Sullivan Award winner, Nebraska great, and then continuing her fantastic volleyball career. We got a lot more to get to. You're watching Off the Air on a Monday right here in the Quad Cities. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Here, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with.
Hey, Quad City parents, tired of the same old weekend routine? Well, listen up. Saturday night, April 26th, it's free youth jersey night with your Quad City Steamwheelers. The first 500 kids 12 and under score a free official Steamwheelers jersey just for showing up. That's right, free gear, big plays, and non-stop family fun. It's IFL football action and memories that'll last a lifetime. Grab your tickets now at steamwheelersfootball.com/tickets and make it a night your kids won't forget. Presented by Crawford Company.
Please join us April 24th through May 3rd online for the 20th annual Chuck Long Charity Auction presented by Atlantic Bottling Company. This year's event features over 200 amazing items. The more bidders we have, the more money we'll raise for life-altering therapy for kids in need right here in the Quad Cities. So please bid high and bid often. Brought to you by these sponsors.
The PGA Tour swings into the Quad Cities again this summer, and you don't want to miss it. The John Deere Classic brings golf, music, magic, and more to TPC Deer Run July 2nd through the 6th. Wednesday, July 2nd is Youth Day, and ages 15 and under are free all week, making it perfect for the whole family. Stick around after the golf on the weekend for the concerts on the Course Series, featuring country superstar Dierks Bentley on Saturday and Grammy Award-winning Zac Brown Band on Sunday. Come for the golf, stay for the party. Visit JohnDeereClassic.com to get your tickets before they sell out.
Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities, Monday, April 28th. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're just joining us, thank you to Lexi Rodriquez, the James E. Sullivan Award winner. An amazing young lady. Great to chat with her. A lot of pride in Sterling, Illinois. We love to hear that as well. So if you happen to miss it, if you're just tuning in, go back and check out Lexi Rodriquez. Great to catch up with her. Someone who was not the James E. Sullivan Award winner when he was in college is this smiling man right here. Hi, friend. Happy Monday.
How you doing, bud? Yeah, happy to be here. I tell you what, I'm really impressed by the amount of commercials you have now. You are really moving up, man. I remember when you only used to have two.
And now
It's a
I
big
got
deal.
like, what, 4? 3?
Yeah,
Pat,
yeah, you're
Pat,
doing great.
hey, plenty of room for more commercials. If anybody's listening, anybody who wants to hear their commercial, please let me know. But yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
IHMVCU doesn't need one because we are true pathfinders and we are the greatest credit union in the Quad Cities.
It's amazing you bring that up because I'm going to go to a clip from our show on Thursday. This is Darien Porter and Pat Angerer, and this is how smart of a businessman you are. I have no idea if you're going to be able to hear this. I think you will, but if not, everyone else will hear how quickly Pat pounced. This is why he's good at what he does. And he's not just a pretty face on radio. He's good at what he does each and every day. Take a listen.
You know, obviously I've made a lot of great friends here and have had a lot of great coaches. And
I take all the credit. You were slow until I started coaching.
That's right. That's right. He taught me everything I know, believe it or not. But, you know, just having the great support system and the people that, you know, have been in this community, you know, it's really, I wear it with honor. You know, it's great to be able to spend this night and this weekend back here with, you know, the people who, you know, mean the most to me and have helped me throughout this whole process. So
absolutely.
As the future new richest guy in the Quad Cities,
oh boy.
What credit union are you going to give all your money to, and why is it IH Mississippi Valley Credit Union? Which is a sponsor of this show, along with Anger Eats as well.
Is it, Greg? I don't think I got those checks yet, but that's well done.
It's all about the sale.
Has he been by this morning with like a cart of or a wheelbarrow full of money? Not yet.
No, not yet. I'm still working on that. He probably changed his number, but yeah, what a nice guy for him to waste his time with us the day before the draft. He got drafted.
Exactly what I said. I said at the opening of the show, I'm like, I don't know why he stayed as long as he stayed, but God bless him for doing so, because all he had was, that's a professional athlete and a great young man and 2 ass clowns sitting on each side of him asking him questions. Who wants to do that for a half hour? Nobody does.
The good thing is he just doesn't know any better yet. He doesn't know any better yet, and good for him.
I want to talk about him because he heard his name on Friday night, number 68 overall. I'm a Raiders fan nowadays. That might be team number 2 behind the silver and Honolulu blue Silver Warriors that are the Detroit Lions. Your thoughts on just seeing him, how happy he was, and that's got to be a proud moment for you as well.
Yeah, it's good to see good people have success, and he deserves it. Great family. Really excited for him. And you know he's going to go in there. He's going to do things the right way, right away, and he's going to have a long career and do well. And it's going to be fun. You know, like you said, it's like you open up a new team to root for. It seems like every year during the draft, we're lucky enough to know guys that get drafted and get picked up on teams. So you find new teams that you cheer for, and it's definitely going to be the Raiders are going to be a team that we're looking out for.
It was cool. I saw the moment on social media where he got the call from the Raiders, and I don't know if he mentioned teams to me in an interview, and I don't think not the one at the bar, but the one we did before, and I don't think he mentioned the Raiders. To see that moment, I'm sure you've seen it on social media, but 1, probably brings back some memories, but 2, cool to see a young man be around family and important people here in the Quad Cities and have that moment, have that payoff right now.
Yeah, a lot of people, they'll try to have these big parties and this news and all this fancy stuff. And, that's not what Darien's about. He's about being around his family, and they're the ones that, shaped him to who he is. And he's a tremendous human. And, just it's so cool to see it pay off because obviously I was there many years ago and definitely brings back good memories and luckily Joey Dania from KWQC was able to catch that moment live on over there. I'm sure that was I mean that couldn't have been an easy night just sitting there like that's not hard that's not
Well, that's
not easy to do.
It's a hard thing to get to because
Mm-hmm.
like you don't know and you don't want to be there. What happens if you like it's an awkward sit? I don't
Right.
think I've like
Correct.
you didn't want a camera around. Now you let us come over
No.
when we were done. Julian was the same way. I'm trying to think. David Johnson, I don't remember. And Logan, same thing. Logan, we caught up afterwards, but that's awkward. It's one thing if you're the number 1 overall pick of the draft and but
Yeah.
what happens if he doesn't go till Saturday? You're leaving the house like kind of feeling bad about it, aren't you?
Yeah, I would assume. Yeah, but luckily we we knew Darien was going, and
Yes.
Raiders got a good one. They have a history of not so much I guess anymore, but when I was playing, they had a history of not really drafting very well, and they freaking hit a home run with Darien.
He goes 68. You went 63. That's the only disappointing thing. I was really hoping
Same.
that I really
Same
was
here, dude.
like I really was hoping that like he's still the best Bettendorf product ever to come out of that school. I mean, I got to be careful because Tavian and others, so I don't want to crown him, but he's better than you is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Yeah, he is, and so is Tavian too.
Yeah, no, there's probably a long list. Fick,
Yeah.
Fick is better than you.
Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, there was multiple guys on our team my senior year that were better than me. It's just, hey, sometimes it's better be lucky than good,
No, I get it. The Iowa Hawkeyes had their spring game this weekend. When you got done with the spring game, I know you went up on Thursday. No, you went up on Thursday. Yeah, you went Thursday, right?
Yep.
Now, I don't know
Yep.
if you remember Thursday, so you got to go back. And I really didn't get a lot out of you at the bar because you kept serving me drinks too much. So I don't know if we got any analyzation out of you, if that's the word. Did you see anything or did you just BS the whole time?
I mean, I BS'd about 90% of the time, which is fair. But no, it was guys competing. It was good to be around it. It was good to be around a healthy competition. Guys are going at it. And I think I mentioned this Thursday. They're at the point in camp where they hate each other. At least Thursday they were. So really good to get the spring game, and then you can kind of move forward. Because really at that time in spring ball, you hate everything about the person across from you.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about the Van Wetzingas. Joey commits last night to Central Michigan, so he reunites with Little Rusty, and he goes up there with a guy, Matt Drinkle, that I've gotten to know a little bit and really well. Just a bunch of same dudes in the same program. It just seems like it's going to go well. Your thoughts when you hear another Van Wetzinga with the Drinkle at Central Michigan? It just seems like a cool fit. Despite what the emoji next to your face just said, which says thumbs down.
Yeah, what is that? Who's doing that? Who keeps doing that?
God only knows what emoji is going to come
How do
up
you do
next.
that?
I'm waiting for the middle finger emoji to come popping up next. But thoughts on the Van Wetzingas and and Drinkle and all those dudes up there in Central Michigan?
Yeah, I didn't see that. Obviously, it was kind of something that kind of assumed would happen. What? Why are you making that face?
Because I sent it to you. I texted it to you.
Am I frozen?
No, you're good.
Oh, you did? You did?
I gave you the
did
face
text it to
because you
me.
said you hadn't seen that. And I was like, well, where have you been?
Oh.
You got to prep.
I don't.
You got to
I've been
prep
at
for the show,
freaking
Pat. Prep for the
baseball
show.
tournaments. And yeah,
We'll get to
very
it.
important baseball tournaments all
We'll
weekend.
get to it.
But yeah, no, he's going to do well. He's surrounded by good people. The people there. Matt's a great guy. He's there with his brother. He's going to do great, and that's a huge pickup for Central Michigan and Matt Drinkle. What are they? The Chippewas? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
The Fighting Chippewas.
They're like
Yeah,
an
that'd be
hour.
cool.
They're an hour and like 10 minutes northwest of Detroit, and I'm honestly thinking about going to a game this year. I'm not joking. We go to Detroit every weekend, or every weekend. God, I wish I went every weekend. Now I don't know if everybody wants to go to Detroit every weekend. That's never been said by anybody ever. But we go once a year, and I'm like, man, if it works, we can go up on a Saturday morning, catch the game, and then head down to Detroit. So it'd be something kind of cool to do.
That's a long day.
Good people up there. Speaking of long days, You look like you got some sun or wind. I don't know. How was your baseball weekend? Usually we lead with complaining. I figured we'd finish maybe with a complaint or two about the old youth baseball. How was do you have any winners in the family?
Yeah, Emmett won. Emmett's team won.
Yeah. And it was his birthday.
Yeah, it was his birthday on Saturday. Yeah. He did a good thing on Sunday of where he would just watch strikes right down the middle and then complain when he would strike out and then go cry. That was kind of his strategy on Sunday. Didn't work out too well for him. Sunday was a long day. I got up to Coralville I think I left the house at 6 and I didn't get home until 6 a.m. Didn't get home until 9:30 p.m. So it was a long day. But
I won that much. That's a lot of winning.
Well, Kale had a game too. Kale had games too, and then Emmett, and it was just it was a long day. But happy for the kids. They did well, and I think the coaches probably needed it more than the kids did. But what I noticed this weekend, so my daughter does soccer, and it's just 4-on-4 soccer. Oh. She's 7, and I think she has the key to life. She doesn't care at all about the outcome. Does not care at all what anybody thinks. She skips, she laughs, she giggles, does cartwheels, and she had 2 hat tricks this weekend.
Wow.
And I think just literally not caring the outcome and not caring at all what people think, I think that's the key to life.
It sounds like your old man.
And I figured it out. 7U soccer.
Skips through life, skips around all the time, does a few cartwheels and
miles
and success.
It was just awesome.
Tricks. 2 hat tricks.
Yeah, she's a beast. She's a beast, man.
So pardon me if I'm not. That's 6 goals, Pat. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Is she just like dominating?
It's 4-on-4 soccer, and they play on a field that's like 20 yards long. So it's not, there's a. But she was happy and she had fun, and I love watching her. It was great.
Well, I
don't have to sit in the outfield and drink beer when she's playing. I can just sit there and watch because I know she's not going to freak out over stupid stuff. How was your sporting weekend?
On Saturday, my wife and we only had 1 kid playing on Saturday. That never happens ever. So we went up to Cedar Rapids. We got to go together, which probably annoyed my wife because she had to hang out with me. And we haven't watched a game together in forever. And we just went out to the outfield, like you just said, set up. It was great because and this is not a bash at any youth tournament everywhere, but this is one of those where you'd have to pay to get in because it's built into the cost of the tournament. Like the team,
you only have to pay to get in. You have to pay to get in when you're local, when you're at like Hitman or TBK. That's the only places we have to pay to get in.
We're staying away from it. We've already changed the world enough.
Hitman and TBK are the only places that charge ridiculous amounts of money to get in.
So they pay ahead at these. They pay ahead at these. So we just pulled up, got out, and like center field's right there. We just put 2 chairs up. Not saying we like all the families on the team and stuff, but like we just hung out, and it was just like 1 kid and us 2, and we watched a couple baseball games. We went and got Jimmy John's in between, and it was outstanding. Then Sunday, my wife went back up. They lost right away, which is unfortunate. But you either win.
Sometimes that's great.
Yeah, you either win the whole thing or like let's get done early. But Pat, I drove 8 hours round trip for my 10-year-old to partake in a state free throw shooting competition.
Wow.
We drove 4 hours. He got out, shot around, made like 15 out of 25 free throws, got back in the car and drove back home. That was literally the extent of it. We went with one of his friends and his dad, and great people. We had a blast. We stopped at Buffalo Wild Wings and ate on the way home, and they had fun. And I think I didn't know it because I'm like 15 of 25 is not very good in my opinion. And like he got 4th.
I think it's good.
He got 4th in his age group out of like 13 kids.
That's awesome.
It's not bad.
Good for him.
So
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so he's the 4th best free throw shooter in the state of Illinois, I think, ever.
That's amazing.
No, it's not.
Good for him.
It's like 60%,
Proud of him.
Isn't it? It's like, yeah,
That's good, isn't it?
If he heard this, I'm going to play this for him. Probably not the part where I make fun of him, but the part where you say good for him. He's a big Pangerer fan. He calls Pat Angerer Pangerer. Because I don't know why. I think because maybe your social media says Panger or what. I don't know, your email address or whatever. But he
calls me other things that we can't repeat.
That's why he likes you. He gets the green light to talk to you the way he wants to talk to you. So I think that's why he enjoys it. Before I let you go, the Chuck Long charity auction is in full swing, and one of the items up for bid is a night with Pat Hanger. Basically, is what we're calling it.
No. It's a night with Kakert and Dazzo.
And Pat.
And somehow I ended up on that list without even knowing. But I'm in. It's going to be fun.
But you know the beauty part about it is that like nobody wants to hang out with Tom and I. Like nobody. Like not even you.
I do.
And so that's basically you save the day. So basically it's dinner for two and then the three of us at Me and Billy's in Davenport. Have you had Me and Billy's? I'm saying it right.
Oh, I love Me and Billy's.
Yeah, Me and Billy's.
Absolutely love it.
Because it's not correct. It's not. Say that again. You're cutting out. No, we almost made it.
Who's paying dinner?
It's free.
Oh, perfect. Even better.
You don't have to pay.
I'm in.
You don't have to pay.
Perfect.
The person who pays for the item gets dinner for all of us. So basically, they're paying for us. If you think about it.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good gig. So I want you to give the spiel. Go out there. You got some fun stories. Hopefully Jerry Palmer has already bought it and is done.
You better.
But it'll be a good time. We can have some drinks. We can make fun of Kakert. It'll be good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a blast. It'll be a really good time. We'll giggle. We'll have fun.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's for a good cause. The Children's Therapy Center is an amazing organization.
Yeah. You were doing so great, and now you're frozen as frozen can be. Your mouth. Okay. No, you're there. You're back. Hey, I want to say this before you go. If you are easily offended, probably not your item to get, if that makes any sense. Would that be okay to say?
I can put on my radio voice. I can put on my radio voice and be just fine.
Yeah. I mean, you behaved yourself at the bar for the most part. Not entirely, but for the most part, you did a good job. I was proud of you.
I was proud of us. We got through that without getting canceled. That was good.
That's the text message I got in the morning from you. It just said, "Have we been canceled yet?" And I said, "No, we're good. We're fine." T-Roy throws a party, doesn't he? That food was really good. The drinks were outstanding. Like T-Roy knows what's up, doesn't he?
T-Roy will take care of you. He's a good one. He's a really good one. And another person that we're extremely lucky to have.
No, 100%. So, well, your internet sucks. I see you're starting to just like roll the dice with it and stay in your office, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm just in my car.
What was the car? There's the office at the building that has the best reception. And then you're just now like.
That's where I'm at right now.
Hey,
that's where I'm at right now.
No, you're not. You're in your office, aren't you?
No, I'm in the office that's supposed to have good.
No, you're doing okay. Hey, real quick, I have Kirk Ferentz on the show this week. What do I talk to him about? Like, give me the question that people are going to be talking about.
Mess it up, man. Don't mess it up.
I'm worried, but I think we're going to be able to do it.
You should be.
He's one of my favorite people. So, speaking of favorite people, this is Pat Anger. We're running out of reception, and it's time to move on. So, I'll talk to you next Monday. I'll probably talk to you later today, but we'll all talk to you next Monday. I appreciate you, friend. Have a great Monday.
Love you.
All right. That is Pat Anger, who did not get us canceled last Thursday at Oscar's Pub. Of course, always love with Pat. And he's right. Head to ctcqc.org. Click the link. Children's Therapy Center, Chuck Long Charity Auction in full swing. Pat mentioned it. It's an amazing organization. There's a waiting list right now of 200 kids that are looking and needing our help. And that's besides the kids that they're helping each and every day. So all the money stays right here in the Quad Cities. One of the items, there's a lot of good stuff. Caitlin Clark, everything like Clayton Clark jersey, basketball, you name it. Tons of great stuff. It's awesome. But one of the items is dinner for two at Me and Billy with me, Pat, and Tom Kakert. Let me rephrase that. With Pat, and then if you want, Tom and I will come along. If you don't want us to come along, just say so. I get it. But should be a lot of fun. So bid on that, bid on a lot of other stuff, and help us help kids right here in the Quad Cities. Well, we got much more to get to on today's show. Coming up, it was the Drake Relays this past week, and we had several local athletes strike gold. We're going to try to get to as many of them as possible this week, and we're going to start with an Assumption standout who won the 100-meter dash. She'll be here, and much more coming up right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo on what day is today? Monday. That's right. It's Monday right here in the Quad Cities.
Hello, Dan Pearson here of FCA. Our team is thrilled to support Off the Air with our good friend Matt Randazzo. We share the view of the power of sport when it comes to relationships, including the influence of the coach. FCA believes the coach is the most influential person in America. Matt celebrates local coaches and athletes. His content is informational, insightful, and inspirational. Our Fellowship of Christian Athlete team loves partnering with Off the Air with Matt Randazzo while we engage, equip, and empower coaches and athletes in our 23 counties. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
View from the West, the podcast covering Illinois high school football.
It's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's going to be great football.
Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
View from the West. We got you covered.
Are you looking for the Quad City's best chips and salsa? There's only one dude to turn to.
Right on.
Snoop. Hand-cut chips, fried fresh with that crunch you've come to love. And the most addicting salsa with delicious fresh ingredients each and every time. Pick up your chips and salsa, queso, enchiladas, and much more at the Stern Center in Rock Island. To place your order, simply call the man himself. It's Snoop at 309-314-8197 and find out for yourself what the rest of the Quad Cities already loves. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. A great weekend of sports. Of course, a lot of eyes on the NFL draft, but on the high school level, the Drake Relays taking center stage on the Blue Oval in Des Moines. And it was a good weekend for our local standouts, including this young lady right here, Assumption's Kelly Grobstich, winning the 100-meter dash. Kelly, first and foremost, thank you so much for doing this. You hear that, a Drake Relays champion. Has it sunk in yet? What goes through your mind?
I feel like it hasn't fully sunken in. It's crazy, just the whole idea of it and seeing where I was and where I am now. It still hasn't, I don't know. It's crazy.
It's awesome. And you mentioned the whole journey of it. As a freshman, I know you had success there on a relay team. Kind of talk about the difference being there as I don't want to say, how do you say freshman in a nice way? An unknowing freshman. I think that's a nice way of saying it. And now being a seasoned senior. Can you compare the two and having success at both times? But I'm sure they probably feel a little different, don't they?
Oh, yeah. My first go at it, my freshman year, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know the significance of Drake. I left for a dance competition in the middle of it and came back. It was crazy. I just didn't, which I'm surprised my coaches let me do, but they did. Seeing where I am now, yeah, I don't know. It's so full circle. Like I was getting interviewed by the same people. I was in the same place that I was 3 years before. So, yeah.
No,
it's cool to see.
It's got to be an awesome experience. And I know one of the big things about this ride, this journey is last year didn't end at Drake the way you liked, the way you wanted, not being in the finals. Kind of talk about that 12-month journey, basically. Obviously that had to motivate a little bit, maybe a lot going into this year.
For sure. Yeah. It was a lot of hard work. I've been training for the past year pretty much with my amazing coach, Jake Moylan. Yeah, I mean, I think it just made me want it more this year, if that makes sense. Not getting the result I wanted after putting in hard work the year before with rehab and everything, and then seeing where I am now. It's a great feeling to know that everything paid off and that I did it all for a reason. Yeah. I'm
It's
just happy
funny
about it all.
because sometimes in life, I'm going to feel like an old wise guy here, but sometimes in life you have to go through the trials and tribulations to get to the where you're at now. Obviously you didn't like the experience of last year, but it probably helped you in the long run. Can you talk about that? Because sometimes you learn from failures or times that aren't as successful as you'd like. Last year wasn't a failure, but times that didn't finish the way you did, and you end up in a better spot the year later, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything happens for a reason. We get motivated off outcomes we don't want, things like that. So my coaches just kept me focused on the goal and what is really worth it and keeping a good headspace. So, yeah.
How were you mentally coming in? Because obviously it's such a physical sport and game and all that kind of stuff, but a competition. But how were you mentally? Because that's a huge part of what you do. I don't think people realize as much as they do how much of a mental side of things. What were your expectations coming in? Were you coming in to leave Drake as the Drake champion in the 100-meter dash, or what was your thought process coming in?
Yeah, so I told myself all week, like, you are going to win. It's going to be fine with full confidence. I believe if you put something out there, then it's bound to happen. So I was just trying to keep really positive mindset. I'm one that gets very nervous before things. So I had a lot of anxiety the night before, but I knew the work I put in and I knew it would it would pay off in the end. So I just had to keep that in mind the whole time through all the stress and nerves and anxiety. But yeah, it ended off great. Yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better finish.
Talk about the finish. When do you realize? When do you hit? When do you look up? I mean, it's always different for every athlete when they finish. When did you realize? When did it sink in that you were the Drake Relays champion?
I heard it over the intercom or the announcer, and I was like, wow, that actually just happened. Because I don't really think when I'm running, it's just so fast. It's done so quick. I put my arms up. It was some like dramatic finish. My coach was making fun of me. I had no idea I did it. I never do that. So it made for a good picture. But yeah, it was a good moment.
When you look around, Kelly, and you see who you're there with, and the talent, the sheer talent and speed and athleticism, what does that mean to you? To not only, like, it's not just you're there by yourself, you're doing it with and against and almost with the state's best. That's got to be kind of cool.
Yeah. It's great to see. I mean, I'm so proud of every single girl that was in my heat. I know what it takes to get there, and there was girls of every single grade, which I think is amazing that they're already having that much success early on. They were all so sweet, and I just know they worked so hard. So I was proud of us all. We all had fun in the end in the little basement room where the interviews went on. So yeah, it was great.
Take me through the day, because I don't know what the weather was like in Des Moines. Here it was fine. Windy, I think, here. I can't think back to whatever day it was, but what was the weather like? What was the environment, the conditions like? Was it perfect? Did you get there that day and say, all right, these are my conditions, this is what I like? What was your feeling going into the day when you got there?
So we woke up at 6 a.m. for neuro wake up, and it wasn't raining, which was great because it's usually raining every single year at Drake. And
yes,
my coach was, yes, for sure. My coach was telling me that we had a massive tailwind, which helped me a lot in the final. And it was opposite last year. It was coming into my face. So just hearing that, like, it was setting me up for success in the morning. And I think I had a better tailwind in the finals. The time was better in the final, but yeah, I think the weather it was perfect. It wasn't too hot, and yeah, couldn't have asked for better Drake weather, honestly.
Back up. neuro wake up. Can you explain that to me? So, and explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old, so that I understand what you just said.
Okay. We wake up at 6 a.m. and we go outside, and my coaches stumble out of bed, and they walk down there with me, and we just go through a variety of jumps and skipping just to get the brain moving because still half asleep in the moment. So if we have an early race, then we like to wake up our brain a few hours before for reaction time, stuff like that.
I love it. I think I should do that just for doing the show. It might be a good idea for me to do the show.
Just every day.
If I did that kind of stuff every day. Drake is important. It's awesome. Blue oval, white flag, all that kind of stuff. But there's more season left. It goes quick, young lady.
Mm-hmm.
These 3 weeks are going to fly by. But how do you refocus? How quickly do you refocus? You got to enjoy today, got to do the big time interviews on this awesome show and all that kind of stuff. But when do you refocus on a special end to a senior season and a state meet that's coming up as well?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just so excited for the rest of the season. I feel like not finished at all. I have so much more to get done this year. And yeah, I'm ready to go get some state titles and just finish it off strong. So yeah, I'm optimistic. I'm excited. I'm not done with the competing yet.
Yeah. How much confidence does this give you? And I understand, don't jinx. I get the cross fingers. I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious. So I get that, but how much confidence? It's got to give you a ton of confidence doing what you just did this past weekend, moving forward these next 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I feel super confident going into the rest of this year. Just not even the time, but just knowing that I can compete in an atmosphere like that and be okay, and the nerves will go away. Yeah, I mean, that meet is huge. So having the smaller ones ahead, I feel like I have a better headspace with that.
Yeah, get back to that blue oval and do some good things coming up in a few weeks. I'm going to have some fun questions for you. We had Lexi Rodriquez on the show earlier, and I'm going to use the same questions I used for her for you when it comes to some fun things. If you could play another sport, if you were a track athlete, I don't know if you do other sports, so I apologize if I'm not thinking correctly, but if you focused on one other sport, what would it be and why?
I think a softball player. And my reasoning is so weird, but I love like the hairstyles that they do on like game days, and the outfit I think is cute.
That's a great reason why.
Yeah.
I'm sure softball players are going to love to hear that's why you want to play their game. I love it. Hey, if you could do a cheat meal, what's your cheat food? You just won the Drake relays, I get to cheat a little bit, or how about even better, in 3 weeks from now, when you can cheat a little bit after a state championship, what's that cheat meal that you need to get?
I just eat like chicken nuggets and fries. I got that right after my last race at Drake.
Okay, so
I don't really like unhealthy food that much, so that's my favorite thing.
What's chicken nuggets and fries? Like, is there a spot at least? Are you going to Chick-fil-A and getting like really good chicken nuggets and waffle fries, or are you going to like wherever?
Like the concessions at Drake.
That's what you won the Drake relays, you had concession stand food, young lady.
Yes.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to talk to your coaching staff. They got to do you better
I was hungry.
No, but you should get more than. I bet you probably couldn't take off pretty quickly. No, I understand. Well, hey, I got 4 boys, and the majority of them are picky eaters, so there is nothing wrong with chicken nuggets and fries. And I'm 45.
It's a staple.
I'm a chicken nugget and fry type of guy myself. Are you real quick? Ketchup, dipping sauce? Is there any? Are you at least dipping it in something good? Ketchup. Yeah, you are my 10-year-old, except for you're much faster than my 10-year-old, but you are my 10-year-old. If you could have dinner with anybody in the world, who would it be and why?
Probably Ellen Pompeo. She's from Grey's Anatomy. Meredith Grey. It's my favorite show.
Okay.
I watch it all the time, so probably her.
Hey, hold on. How long is Grey's Anatomy still on? It's not, is it? Or is it?
Yes. I think
Okay.
it finally just ended. Yeah.
Okay. So do you binge watch older ones, or have you always watched Grey's Anatomy? Because I feel like I grew up watching Grey's Anatomy, and I'm an old man.
Yeah. I just start over at the older ones. I don't like the new ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I like that. I like that. Why would
Yep.
you want to talk with her? Just because you love the show and that?
Yep, I just love the show. I mean, in all seriousness, probably my grandma Grobstich that passed away to have a dinner with her. But my funny one, I would say Ellen.
Ellen, okay, I got you. I love it. I love it. That's a good,
Yeah.
Grandma's a very
Yeah.
good one as well. A
Meredith
very good.
Grey. Yes.
Do you have an embarrassing moment? Like, is there something that stands out? It could be when you were like 5 or like when you were in junior high. Is there an embarrassing moment where you're like, man, that's not good? And if you don't want to tell us about it, you don't have to, but it'd be fun if you did.
No, I will because it's actually funny because it was at the Drake Stadium at State my freshman year. Or 4x1, I dropped the baton after I told everyone in the interviews at Drake that we were gonna win it. So that's my embarrassing moment. Yeah, that was humbling.
But hey, you're a champion now because you didn't have to worry about a baton. See? Cut out the
Yeah,
middleman.
never doing that again.
Yeah, you didn't
Never
have to do
doing
that.
that again.
Are you a dogs person, a cat person, or no thank you, I don't like animals person?
Dogs person. Both of them are downstairs, my 2 chocolate labs.
Okay.
I love dogs. Yes.
What are their names? How old are they? Tell us about them.
Chase is 3. He's crazy. They just got back from the kennel actually from us being gone this weekend, so they're very hyper right now. And Gable's 11, so he's the older one.
Awesome.
And they both mess with each other. Yeah.
Do you like
Love them.
cats at all? And people are gonna hate that I say this, but I don't like cats because I don't know what they're thinking. A dog, if they're happy, they're wagging their tail. If they're mad, they're
Yeah.
barking at you. They pretty much what you see is what you get. I don't trust cats. Are you not a cat person?
Not really. I had one when I was really little and it hated everybody else but me. So I personally don't like them now, but I liked that one.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
When your senior year, what's next? I know that the University of Iowa is in your future. What's next with your running career? I know you're still trying to figure some of that out, but kind of talk about
Yeah.
what's after or after high school and that thought process that you're maybe in right now.
Yeah, I'm just really excited for what's after this. I'm still trying to figure out everything with the running, trying to just make sure I'm going to commit to something that, I'm in a good headspace with and I want to do this. And I'm just working through all of that right now. But yeah, I'm so excited to see where I end up. And keeping an open mind to everything is a big thing for me. I want to eventually become a physical therapist after I had a full ACL surgery a couple years ago. So I want to eventually do that. One of my coaches was my physical therapist and I love her. She made me want to do it. So yeah, that's where my head's at, my goals. Yeah.
We can't let you go without talking about that because the ACL, and they say nowadays an ACL tear, you come back better than ever. Are you better than ever? And what was that? You talked about like mental spaces and all that kind of stuff. Health is a big thing. It's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Take me through those times because I know they aren't always easy. They can't be easy recovering from an ACL. You got to be proud of the young lady that went through that, aren't you?
Oh, for sure. It was a lot. Yeah, it took a lot of people to keep me mentally good and just focused on my next goals and that everything wasn't going to end when I tore it and I was out for a year. I could recover, I could rehab, I would get back, and I ended up finding that I wanted to be a physical therapist through that. So everything happens for a reason. But yeah, it was definitely a crazy time. My knee right now that I got surgery on, I think is stronger than my other one, which is crazy to say, but it definitely is. My surgeon did a great job. University of Iowa Medicine, amazing. So yeah, I've been great ever since. So
it's awesome to hear. Kelly, you are a Drake
you.
Relays champion. I hope you're getting used to hearing that because you continue to hear it for the rest of your life because they can't take it away from you. How about you add a state championship to that and we talk to you again in 3 weeks? Does it sound like a deal?
Perfect. Yeah, that sounds like a perfect deal.
Awesome. I'm putting it on my calendar. We'll talk to you here in 3 weeks or so. Best of luck. Stay healthy, stay fast, and do big things this postseason. We appreciate you doing this.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Kelly, of course. Track season now is in full swing. That postseason kind of kicks off. When you get to those Drake relays, you hit the postseason and you get running, and it's an exciting time for track on both sides of the river. We got more to get to on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo on a Monday right here in the Quad Cities. We'll be right back. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Here, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with.
Hey, Quad City parents, tired of the same old weekend routine? Well, listen up. Saturday night, April 26th, it's free youth jersey night with your Quad City Steamwheelers. The first 500 kids 12 and under score a free official Steamwheelers jersey just for showing up. That's right, free gear, big plays, and non-stop family fun. It's IFL football action and memories that'll last a lifetime. Grab your tickets now at steamwheelersfootball.com/tickets and make it a night your kids won't forget. Presented by Crawford Company.
Please join us April 24th through May 3rd online for the 20th annual Chuck Long Charity Auction presented by Atlantic Bottling Company. This year's event features over 200 amazing items. The more bidders we have, the more money we'll raise for life-altering therapy for kids in need right here in the Quad Cities. So please bid high and bid often. Brought to you by these sponsors.
The PGA Tour swings into the Quad Cities again this summer, and you don't want to miss it. The John Deere Classic brings golf, music, magic, and more to TPC Deer Run July 2nd through the 6th. Wednesday, July 2nd is Youth Day, and ages 15 and under are free all week, making it perfect for the whole family. Stick around after the golf on the weekend for the concerts on the Course Series, featuring country superstar Dierks Bentley on Saturday and Grammy Award-winning Zach Brown Band on Sunday. Come for the golf, stay for the party. Visit JohnDeereClassic.com to get your tickets before they sell out.
Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Here on a Monday in the Quad Cities, it is Monday, April 28th. May is nearly here. It's weird to even think about. Seems like yesterday we were starting this thing. January 6th is when we started it. So, yeah, the month is going fast. The show is going fast. We've had a great Monday so far today. Lexi Rodriquez, kick things off for us off the top of the show. Lexi was the James E Sullivan Award winner last week, I believe, given to the best college athlete, in the nation. Caitlin Clark, Michael Phelps, you name it. All these amazing athletes have won it. Lexi right there with them. Awesome athlete, awesome volleyball player, but also a fantastic human being. So if you missed Lexi at the top of the show, go back, check that out. Well worth the listen, because she gives plenty of love to Sterling, and rightfully so. Won a pair of state championships with the Golden Warriors before an amazing career with the Nebraska volleyball program as well. Also, Pat Angerer was along talking everything like we normally do with Pat. And then, of course, Kelly Grobstich, the winner of the 100-meter dash at the Drake Relays this past weekend, the Assumption standout, just got done with her as well. I made a list of possible guests this week, and I'm trying to figure out if I should read the list off as if like I'm definitely going to get all them, or, which I think I will, or just wait. But I will tell you this, I'm hoping to catch up with Kirk Ferentz this week. I'm waiting to hear back the exact day and all those kind of things, but would be really exciting to get the Iowa head football coach Kirk Ferentz on the show this week. Once I know, I'll let you guys know. It should be a lot of fun to do that as well. The NFL draft is in the books. We mentioned a congratulations to Darien Porter. Darien with a memorable weekend, selected 68th overall by the Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders. So congratulations to him. Other thoughts when it comes to the NFL draft. Obviously you guys can see my Lions helmet on the desk, so you know where that's from. People have asked me what I thought of the Bears draft. First off, I think draft grades are ridiculous. You have no, and I know that for a fact because everyone hammered the Lions 2 years ago when they took Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it was awesome. Brian Branch, Jack Campbell, and it was awesome. But they got D's and F's, and that ended up being one of the best drafts maybe, well, in their franchise history, maybe in NFL history. So really, really good draft. So it's hard to just say like, hey, here's my grade, but I know people love them. I will say this, Seth Rollins killed it. Davenport's own Seth Rollins, and I disagreed with all of it. Caleb Williams is not the best quarterback in the division, and I get all that, but he was doing what he was supposed to do, and I loved it. So Seth Rollins killed it. I don't hate the Bears draft picks. I was surprised they went with Colston Loveland. I was surprised a little bit. I don't understand this. The Bears refuse to address the trenches in the draft. And I get it. Darnell Wright, you can throw things out here and there, and it's not like they completely ignore them. But I don't understand why they don't address the trenches, and then they complain and cry all season because they're not good up front, offensively, defensively, wherever. They don't get to the quarterback enough. They don't protect the quarterback enough. I was surprised they didn't go offensive line. With that being said, the top 3 offensive linemen were already off the board, maybe 4. 3, I think, for sure. So I understand that they probably had to pivot, maybe look to trade down. I don't think Colston Loveland is bad by any stretch. Reminds me a little bit of Sam Laporta, and I don't say that with like skill set wise, but I think he's a guy that numbers would have been even better if he was in an offense that had a competent quarterback and all of those kind of things, similar to Sam Laporta at Iowa a few years ago. So I don't understand why the Bears don't just say, hey, and free agency happened. I get it, but those are older free agents. I know you're going to try to resign Tooney, and he's 34, 35, something like that. So he's getting there, but he seems to have enough tread on the tires and all that kind of stuff. But I don't trust the guard they traded for from the Rams. I'll think of it as Jonah Jackson. Thank you, because he was a Lion. Don't know if I trust him for sure. But anyways, their offensive line's gotten better. I get that. I just don't understand. I don't think it's good enough where you can draft and take a tight end number 10 in the draft. But we'll see. The rest of the draft, I thought the Arthur Burden draft, or Luther Burden, whatever his name is, the kid from Missouri, I thought that was an outstanding value pick for them there. Again, drafting a third wide receiver over trenches, but they eventually got to the trenches. So who knows? We'll see when it comes to that. Congratulations Packers for finally taking a wide receiver. It's about time. I think they picked the right one as well. So they always seem to to do well. And when it comes to my Lions, if anyone cares, I think Brad Holmes is a genius. I think everybody else is playing checkers and he's playing chess. And I think he got 3 guys in the first 2 days that are going to be productive. And you got to remember, the Lions don't have a ton of holes to fill. I'm not saying that cocky. They don't have, even on the roster, like they have depth too. So I like what they did, but I'm never going to doubt Brad Holmes. I used to doubt the Lions all the time. I don't do it anymore. So that's my little draft talk. Love the draft. Love the draft weekend. Think they do a great job. I think Green Bay did a good job. It wasn't Detroit. I'm not saying that just because. But I think they did a good job. Seth Rollins was awesome. That's the one thing I definitely want to talk about today. Davenport's own Seth Rollins doing an outstanding job. And then May 14th, they announced May 14th will be when the NFL schedule is released. And the cool part about that is it's released at like 6 o'clock. And throughout the day, you start getting this team is going to play on Monday night here or open the season here and all that kind of stuff. So you'll start plugging it away and start filling it in, and then eventually, I think 6 o'clock at night, they announce it. They did mention that the Thanksgiving Day game, which has been the Bears a lot. I mean, the Lions are always in it, but the Bears and Lions have played several times recently, got moved back a half hour. They're going to start that at noon now instead of 11:30. So, the NFL always staying in the thoughts of everybody. They do a good job now. April's done. May, they have the schedule come out. June, next thing you know, mini camps are starting. And then, boom, you go into the preseason and football is back before you know it. Thank God. So, other than that, we have a fun week coming up. We mentioned hopefully Kirk Ferentz one of these days. Trying to track down a few other local athletes as well. And we're going to try to get some new coaches in here as well. Pat Elder was named the Bureau Valley head coach recently. So we'll try to track him down and a few others as well. So a lot to get to this week. We appreciate you guys watching. Go back and check it out if you didn't check out the entire show. We are up on all podcasting platforms. And last but not least, also, make sure you go to ctcqc.org and check out the Chuck Long charity auction that is up until Saturday night. At 8 o'clock, it closes. So we'll talk a lot more about that throughout the week. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And as always, thank you so much. Pat kind of mentioned it, but we got some sponsors and they're amazing. So thank you to these sponsors. And then, of course, if you're interested in sponsoring or working with Off the Air, get a hold of me. We'd love to have you part of the group as well. So thank you guys so much for watching here on a Monday. We'll see you back here tomorrow right here on OTA.